Sometimes, the biggest mistake a person can make is believing they know someone based on the first glance. Sometimes, the person you think is ordinary is the one holding a truth powerful enough to change your entire world. This is the story of Jack Meyer, a brilliant young millionaire who thought he had everything under control. Until he met Lily Randall, a girl he thought was just a farmer's daughter. But what he didn't know was that she had the power to save his dreams, expose his blind spots, and unlock a piece of his heart he didn't even know existed. A story about pride, a story about redemption, and a story about what happens when you underestimate the wrong person. At 27, Jack Meyer had achieved more than most entrepreneurs twice his age. He wasn't born rich. He earned his place through relentless work, sleepless nights, and a vision that made him fearless. He specialized in luxury transformations, turning run-down, forgotten properties into high-end boutique resorts. And Maplevale was his masterpiece. A lakeside resort surrounded by apple orchards and rolling hills. A place where nature and luxury could exist in perfect harmony. It was ambitious, expensive, and absolutely stunning. But one phone call changed everything. Jack, the board decided to withdraw. We're out. His investor, the one who promised millions, walked away. Just like that. No warning. No explanation. The silence in Jack's penthouse office felt suffocating. His assistant, Grace, whispered, "Jack, what are we going to do?" Jack stared out the window, the city lights blurring. "I don't know," he whispered. "My entire future is tied to Maplevale. And now, I'm running out of time." With the clock ticking, Jack did something he rarely had to do. He drove out of the city to ask for help. Hours later, skyscrapers turned into barns, highways turned into gravel roads, and the smell of smoke and steel turned into fresh grass and apple blossoms. He had arrived in Maplevale, a world where people waved at strangers and dogs slept on porches, and the loudest sound was the wind brushing leaves. Jack stepped out, brushing invisible dust off his suit. He felt out of place, too polished, too city. He approached the farmhouse door, and before he could knock, it swung open. She stood there, Lily Randall, the farmer's daughter. Brown eyes, plaid shirt, ponytail, and a basket of freshly laid eggs in her arms. She didn't smile. Instead, she asked, "What does a millionaire want with our land?" Jack blinked. He hadn't expected hostility. "I want to build something beautiful," he said. "Something that honors Maplevale." Lily didn't flinch, didn't soften. Instead, she lowered her voice. "People from the city always say that. Then they destroy what they don't understand." Jack felt something unfamiliar, a sting of embarrassment. That was the first moment Lily slipped past his armor, and he didn't even realize it. Inside the farmhouse, Lily's father, Thomas Randall, greeted Jack warmly. But Lily. She stayed leaning against the doorframe, arms crossed, eyes narrowed. Jack laid out his proposal. Clean energy systems, minimal disruption, partnerships with local farmers. Thomas nodded thoughtfully. He liked the sound of it. But Lily. She cut in, sharp as a blade. "A resort means tourists. Tourists mean pollution, and pollution kills our orchard." Jack tried to remain calm. "I have engineers who specialize in preserving ecosystems." Lily stepped closer. "And what about the workers? Are you hiring locals or importing a team that doesn't care about this place?" Jack swallowed. How did she know so much? Why was she so informed? He asked, "Do you study agriculture?" Lily's expression didn't change. "Maplevale is my education. Every inch of this land matters." Jack left the farmhouse with the contract halfway negotiated and with a lingering, irritated fascination with Lily Randall. He told himself she was just difficult, just emotional, just protective. He had no idea she was something much, much bigger. Back in the city, Jack tried everything to salvage Maplevale. Banks said no. Investors ghosted him. Advisors warned him to drop the project and cut his losses. Grace looked at him with worry. "Jack, maybe Maplevale isn't meant to be." But Jack shook his head. "No, it's more than a project. It feels right." Days turned into weeks. The deadline to pay the Randalls was almost up. When Jack returned to Maplevale to request an extension, Lily met him in the orchard, arms full of apple blossoms for sorting. She looked at him once, then said, "You're desperate." Jack froze. "How?" "You're pacing," she said. "You're sweating in cool weather, and your tie is crooked." He sighed. "I need more time. A few weeks, please." Lily looked at him, and for the first time, her eyes softened, but her words didn't. "Time doesn't solve everything, Jack. Sometimes you need honesty more than hope." It wasn't cruel. It was truth, and it hurt. 2 days later, at 2 a.m., Jack received an email that made him sit upright. "We represent a private investment group. We are interested in Maplevale. Meeting request, Friday, 11 a.m. No signatures, no details, no company names. But Jack didn't care. It was hope, and hope was oxygen. He created a breathtaking presentation: the architecture, the environmental protection plans, the income projections, the idea of merging luxury with nature. He practiced his speech until sunrise. Friday arrived. Jack walked into the meeting room with trembling hands, and inside were only 2 people. An older businessman with a serious face, and a young woman with her back turned, typing calmly. Jack didn't know it yet, but his entire life was sitting in that room. Jack began his pitch, his voice shaky at first, then strong, passionate, honest. He talked about protecting the orchard, supporting local farms, preserving the lake, creating jobs. When he finished, the room was quiet. The older man stood up. "Thank you, Jack. Your vision is impressive." Jack breathed out in relief. But then, the man turned to the woman with her back still facing them. "Ultimately," he said, "the decision is hers." The woman closed her tablet, stood up, turned around. Jack's heart stopped. It was Lily, dressed not in flannel, but in a charcoal blazer. Hair sleek, eyes sharp. Jack whispered, "Lily." "What?" She walked toward him, heels clicking softly. "I'm Lily Randall," she said, "CEO of Randall Investments." Jack had to grab the table to steady himself. Lily held his gaze. "I didn't tell you who I was, because I wanted to see the real you." Jack whispered, "The real me?" Lily nodded. "You thought I was just a farmer's daughter, someone without power, without influence. But while you were planning to buy our land, I was planning to decide whether you deserved it." Jack felt every word like a blow. "Not from anger, from truth," she continued. "And I saw something genuine. You didn't just want to build a resort. You wanted to protect Maplevale." Jack swallowed. "So, what happens now?" Lily extended a contract. "We invest. On one condition: Maplevale keeps its heart, its orchard, its people, its soul." Jack didn't hesitate. "I promise." From that day forward, Jack and Lily worked as partners. They clashed constantly. "You can't pave the entire entrance road," Lily argued. "It ruins the rustic charm." "Luxury guests don't want muddy shoes," Jack countered. "You'd be surprised," Lily snapped back. But between every heated debate was chemistry, respect, and something neither did name. Jack taught her about branding and hospitality. Lily taught him about soil pH, crop cycles, sustainable tourism. Together, they created something neither could have built alone. One evening, after a long day, they walked through the orchard as the sun dipped low. Light spilled through branches, painting Lily in gold. Jack finally broke the silence. "You know, I've changed. Because of you." Lily looked at him softly. "Good. Maplevale doesn't need another businessman. It needs someone who listens." Jack hesitated, then took her hand. She didn't pull away. The breeze carried their breath as they stepped closer, and under the apple blossoms, their lips met. It wasn't rushed, it wasn't planned, it was inevitable. Months later, Maplevale Resort opened. Cabins glowing under lantern lights, local farmers serving food, guests marveling at the preserved orchard. Thomas Randall had tears in his eyes. And Lily? She stood beside Jack, not as a silent partner, but as the woman who helped him build this dream. Jack whispered, "You weren't just the investor who saved Maplevale. You were the one who saved me." Lily leaned into him, smiling quietly. Jack thought he came to Maplevale to buy land, but what he really found was someone who challenged him, softened him, and taught him what truly matters. Lily wasn't just a farmer's daughter. She was a leader, a protector, a visionary, and the love of his life. Maplevale became more than a resort. It became the place where two worlds met and found harmony. And the lesson: never underestimate someone because of where they come from. You never know. They might be the person who changes your entire life.